exploit. He's not the tallest of players, but one thing that you can say for sure is that he's a very, very well-disciplined back, and also he really works very much and inspires right from the back.
Well, looking at the other side of the equation, Abe Chikomeko makes 3 changes from the squad that fell short here to was Sports Club Villa. And the man in Ibrahim Kazindula, who missed the penalty, Lawrence Tezicha and Amos Kiria are dropped in their favor. Martin Aprem, that is Regan Kaliowa, returned to the starting lineup, as is Walter Ochora, who recovers in time from an injury.
Yeah, of course, the return of Walter Ochora will be a big boost for this Bull Football Club in defense. By and large, you feel that they've got enough cover for a player like we've seen Moire, who's not there at left back. You think that Emmanuel Obua, who's coming off that winning moment with the Lango province in the FUFA drum, will be inspired by the performance that they put up, and that should definitely boost his confidence. In that midfield, Pascal Ngobi and George Kasongo have been doing pretty well. Jerome Chiria has been half-hearted, you would say. You think that he can do a lot more, especially when it comes to scoring. Regan Kaliowa returning is definitely going to give them the pace that they need up front to support Alex Chitata and Martin Aprem.
Well, Chitara at the moment at top of the table with 43 points, and they could cement their legacy on what many will acclaim as a fairy tale run to the title and go 7 points clear. Should they collect what has become a norm for them at the Masindi Municipal Grounds, another victory?
Yeah, of course, we know that the only time that they've lost here was against Maroons Football Club. That was one of those outliers, many could say. And the kind of fortress that they have made this place is definitely one that gives their fans a lot of confidence. But Bull also know, on the other hand, that for them to keep their title hopes alive, they mustn't lose this game. So when you consider all those stakes as they are lined up here and all the subplots, you think that this is going to be a very, very interesting game. One that is a must-watch for whoever has not been able even to travel down. But I think like almost every road has led to Chitara today. Almost every big person that you know in the game has traveled down here.
Well, we're underway, and as has been the tradition here, major big kickoff. Well, that is normally a start for Chitara, but Bull FC pulling off the same.
Yeah, similar stand, and they get their first shot on target. You can see the way they have started. Clearly, you can see Regan Kaliowa with a lot of buzz in his belly there, and you can see that aggression is possibly what Bull will have to showcase today. Like their coach pointed out, that they have got to play really hard.
Bull FC in the yellow and green, as the goalkeeper here, Joe Mutakubwa, regains possession. On the other end, it's Chitara Football Club that are in their traditional red and white. Their goalkeeper, Crispas Kusima, does share a bit of history with Mutakubwa in a certain club known as Express.
Yeah, exactly. That's the interesting subplot. They were once at Express, and they won the Sekafa with Joe Mutakubwa as the number 1, while Kusima was the number 2. So they meet again, and as they were also together at Gaddafi Football Club. So what an interesting subplot.
This time the roles have changed. It's Chitara which has Kusima as number 1 on the table.
Yeah.
But Abe Chikomeko has been blowing fire all through the press conference, promising that no matter what happens, one thing is a sure guarantee: all 3 points will return with them to Jinja.
Well, time will tell. This is definitely what every coach expects from his charges, and I think that if you look back at how Bull have been performing in recent games, it's not the kind of statement that gives you a lot of confidence, because they've not been winning games. But if they are actually to prove how good they are as a team in the title chase, then I think that this is a game where they definitely have got to get the 3 points.
The 12th man getting fully behind the players here, as the chants continue to come in from the fans, and Muchurezi tries to take the first shot. It's not on target.
You've got to first make sure that your head is right. You've got to believe in yourselves, and that's, I think, something that Bull is still struggling with.
Living Capon takes the shot, pumped away. Well, turns out it was a worthwhile move and a very good shot there in the end. And that's what you want to see, camaraderie between the fellows here, and a very well taken free kick there.
Yeah, and a very good save equally coming in from Joe Mutakubwa. And I think that in many ways Joe Mutakubwa is going to look at this game as one where he's auditioning, showcasing what he's made of and what he was known for.
Well, it looks like we might have a bit of a melee going on here, as there's a player on the ground.
as well as George Kasonko and Pascal Ngobi have got to work extra hard to try and make sure they do not allow Paddy Momuza time on the ball.
Well, Jerome Kiria deciding to take matters into his own hands there, snatching it from Paddy and attempting a shot from distance. Would have needed more power there to shake up Crispas Kusima. Coincidentally, these two also share something else. They are the ones at the top of the table in terms of clean sheets. 8 clean sheets each between Crispas Kusima and Joel Mutakuba. Probably explains why their teams are number 1 and number 2.
Yeah, of course it's also a fresh breath here having the league with 2 teams that vying for the championship and none of them has ever won it. I think it just shows you how there's been a shift in the kind of dominance as it was previously. Like we always knew Villa, Express, KCC and maybe Vipers. Now you have in the equation 2 other teams that exactly. Oh,
foul
what happened there?
Free kick awarded.
Did you see much there?
Clearly the referee was pretty convinced and very stern in his assertion there. So there'll be very little that would convince him otherwise.
Yeah, you're talking about the nerves and the pressure that many fans are showing already. Early exchanges. Now, what happens if Bull were to take the lead? Would they just run out of the stadium?
Well, it would quickly move from just being fascinated or entranced by the game to now being slightly mortified as a chance comes up here looking to pull the shot. Just couldn't keep it down. Joe Mutakuwa is quick to remind the defensive midfield that a Prem cannot be given even the ability to think of pulling it off.
Yeah, and he's one of those players that has struggled for confidence of late. That is Martin Aprem, and it's an opportunity for him to prove his coaches otherwise.
Well, this is pretty preoccupation from the fans. They are totally riveted by the game. Absolutely captivated. Taking in every single minute detail, second per second. 27 minutes of the game back on here. We are yet to have a real attempted goal. Still goalless. Not so sure he got the touch he wanted, but still with a chance. Semugabi takes the shot. Jude Semugabi hasn't quite been involved in the game, just as Living Cabon, which should tell you how much the midfield is totally congested. Yeah. Some of the players that are normally quite key to how Chitara plays have been cut out of the game. But as has always been, Semugabi, Living Kabono Medini, just half a chance. Give it to them and you will rue why you even perceived it.
Yeah, and you think that the game plan for Bull was to make sure that they cut out those 3. Once you cut out those 3, then you've got to have the job done.
Living Cabon gets the ball in. Emphatic header away by Ronaldo Titioti. Played back in. That was clumsy from Dudu Ramadan.
Would affect the players that are trying to create chances.
Well, referee Dick Okello brings a close on proceedings here for the first half of the game. Frank Zagatumwesije has been given the mandate to go ahead and create the offensive for the team.
Yeah, very interesting substitution, but I think that if you look at the way the first half panned out, there were many restrictions on Paul Muchures. He just didn't seem to thrive under the kind of marking that Bull Football Club applied there. So you wonder whether Frank Tumwesije might be a little more different and maneuver past that very steady Bull defending approach.
Well, a game that saw both teams cancelling each other out and quite literally equal in strength. But here comes a first-time attempt from distance. Not the first time we've seen Chitata score from such a distance, but this time that wasn't even on target.
Yeah, a bit rushed. I thought that maybe he should have taken more steps forward, got into that penalty area and got closer to the goalkeeper. Maybe there I would have given him a little more composure and time to actually pick his spot better than taking that shot on the run.
Long ball launched once again.
His body out and making it very difficult for Living Cabon to get onto the ball.
Flung in. Jerome Kiria just guaranteeing that that will be a corner for Chitara Football Club. Tense next couple of minutes here. If there's any weight that's been hard enough this particular year for the fans, it's definitely going to be this weight. Less than an hour, but the tension worth the whole day.
That's true, and this second half will definitely be more of a desperate attack for both teams.
Long ball in, looking to pop it, just goes over the bar, and it's another corner.
But the final touch came off a Chitara player there.
That was my mindset as well, but Nico Kello, famed by the way for his eagle eye, if you do remember that particular game in Chitende where he was the only one that spotted a goal early.
The late equalizer by Boban, or rather
Bobosi
Biaruhanga, for Vipers against KCC. That was quite as Ronaldo GTOT. You've got to also try and make sure that you give him enough space, otherwise you could get into problems with the physicality that he's made of.
Semugabi finding Frank Tumwesije, Zaga, or Uncle Feet as he's popularly known. Gets the ball up front. Flung away, comes back to them, and Omedi takes the shot. Just not on target. Was riveting, and he knows it.
Yeah, it was a good opportunity for him. The least he could have done was try and keep it on target, because I thought that he had a lot of time and space to try and use that ball a lot better. And we've known Omedi to be that kind of player.
Took a turn and a shot in there. Looks like there's another coming together that does not quite sit well with Chitara Football Club. And so it looks like there's another free kick awarded by, it's actually, well, Tezicha coming on for Martin Aprem, and Kasonko was merely getting a few instructions from the technical team.
I would have been surprised if it's George Kasonko, knowing the kind of work that he does in that midfield in terms of protecting the back line, for him to be taken off this early.
Well, he's rarely one of those that he's taken off for any reason.
Yeah, that's true. But then I think that Aprem has run his socks off. So having a player that scored in the FUFA Drum final coming on, Tezicha.
Shot from distance. He's continuing to test out his range, trying to find his scopes. Dennis Omedi, coincidentally, the last 4 wins that Chitara has had, Omedi has been involved somewhere in the goals. As long as it's a victory, Omedi has been part of the storyline.
That's true. That's how influential he has been.
Setting the ball right in the thick of things. Shoulder injuries, collarbones can be a real thing that's nasty. Whipped in cross. Who's there to chase? No one. And Jude Semugabi will look to engage the front foot now for the Royals. Chitara. Semugabi cuts on the inside, looking for Tumwesije. Everybody knows that's the think tank right now, so cutting him out easily. Jerome Kiria glances around, picks Regan Karioa. Karioa, can he pick the cross? Well, what about going for personal glory? Just didn't work out as expected.
I think it's just an incident where you feel that that was wrong thinking coming from Regan Karioa, but also it somehow gets you to think that some of these ball players just feel that once I get into the penalty and I just make an attempt, it's enough for the coach to be satisfied with the performance I'm putting up. But you've got to play with conviction, and I think that there were better options in that penalty area for Bull that Karioa should have tried to get the pass to.
Well, this time he gets it to Jerome Kiria. Tried to play a quick through pass there for Tezicha. Easily seen a mile out here by Ramadan Dudu. Walter Ochora. This was when he was playing for the title for Express.
Yeah, I think they know how high the stakes are, and somehow everyone is putting in a shift to make sure that they get the 3 points. So it doesn't matter where you are playing or what position you're in. If it requires you defending to keep your side in the game, then you've got to do the job.
Well, it's going to be a curious case on who to consider for man of the match.
Yeah, but it's going to be a hard one if you ask me.
Literally everybody has
put in a shift.
Just done their bit. I don't think anyone has really stood out for me just as yet. As the shot comes in, well, Crispas Kosima hasn't shown 8 clean sheets just for nothing. 8 clean sheets and only 13 goals conceded this entire season. So right there, Pascal Ngobi work this set piece to their advantage. Delivered to the far post, put back in play, trying to keep it back in, and this time goalkeeper is able to pick up.
That's a pretty good job, Kusima. That's the kind of ball that could easily leave a goalkeeper walkers about and easily expose him, but he actually calculated his movement around that 6-yard area quite well.
His defense had been left wanting there, as 2 attempts had allowed Bull to dictate the flight trajectory of the ball, and a mistake here coming up that could be costly. Shot eventually coming in and just drops away. Orit tries to get the ball, but it ends as it started. An evening or afternoon with plenty of hope and promise